Okay, so today I got for you a short little video. We're going to cover some of the basics of the 99 to 02 instrument cluster. Now, I know it's really 99 in new body style and then 0002 because if you swap the 99 and you'll get some issues with the air lights on there. I think it was the airbag. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, you don't swap between the two of those. But the board itself is the same and all that. So I lump them together as 99 through 02 when I talk about these and how I repair them. I don't list them for sale that way though. When I sell them, it'll either be an 00 through 02 or a 99 specific. So first thing I want to cover is the major difference in it and the newer ones is that obviously the circuit board's completely different, but newer ones use these stepper motors, and all the time I get requests about repairing these where people ask, hey, do you replace the stepper motors in them? And I have to explain to them that no, there's not stepper motors in them. And then they're like, well, I've seen them with my own two eyes. It's like, no, you saw the air core motors. I don't like to get into arguments with people, but yeah, so these are air cores, and the motor itself doesn't go bad, but they do have an issue where the dampening oil runs out and then they'll spin. But you can fix this. I don't think I've ever seen one of these just completely fail on the 99 through 02s. I've seen some of the older ones, but they were like early 90s models stuff, and I don't work on them. I just saw one time. It was like completely seized up. I don't know if the motor actually failed or if it just got water in it. But yeah, so that's the main difference that you'll run into working on them. Is that they're not stepper motors. So like in your 03 to 07 Classic, you have these stepper motors in them, and it's all just this one motor here. And you can just replace all of them with the same one. These if you ever remove them, make sure you note which spot they came out of. They all have a different marking here. Hopefully it'll zoom in. Yes, there you go. C14 on this one. I can't remember. I can't remember if that's the coolant temperature. I know oil is P and voltage is V and Speedo is, or no, Taco is S. I don't remember the other ones, but off the top of my head. But yeah, so the motors are all specific and they're really expensive because they don't make them anymore. So you can only buy like these used ones on eBay, and people like to sell them for $20, $30 a piece. And yeah, they just get like that. So another thing I just want to cover on there is you can put these, and I know that's a nice little upgrade people like to do, is put the newer one on there. It looks a whole lot better. All what you have to do is trim them down, and they'll fit. You just take a pair of dikes and cut them, and they'll fit on there. So that's something a lot of people like to do. Simple mod there. So let's cover fixing one of these motors. Since this one's bad, we will do it. Let me just move this guy out of the way. I don't want to get oil on it. So, all is what you got to do to fix one of these. I think I've shown it in another video, and I know Jeff has shown it. So you can use this guy right here in it, and you just take a syringe. I just keep a little cap on there so that way I don't make a mess with it. Take it, put it on top, and you're gonna kind of pull all the air out, which y'all can't see it from that angle. I'll try to find a better angle so you can see that happening. Alright, so yep, just do that a couple of times, and then we'll put the needle back on. That was only a couple of times, so it may still... So, see how it no longer freely spins? We just get like one spin out of it, which that's okay. That's not going to be super jittery. But how it was before, it would have been bouncing around all the time. But now that it's got some dampening oil in there, you're getting one spin. It's not freely spinning like it was before. It it'll work. This one, I'll do it a couple more times off camera though, because it's still you can generally get it to where it'll do like just half a spin. Brand new ones, it's actually a grease that's inside there, and you can't it won't spin at all. It'll just kind of move. But this works. Okay, so another thing to talk about are LED upgrades on these. It's a big request for them, as any instrument cluster. Everybody wants LEDs in it. One of the things I just want to mention here is I always try to push the customer, hey, this is a super easy do-it-yourself. It's a 13 millimeter or half inch, depending on who you buy it from, socket, and you just put the new socket in, and you can then put your bulb in it, or put the bulb in and put it in. I normally put these in and then put the bulb in because these are actually kind of tight to get on there. The original ones that come with it, the bulb is not removable, so that's why you have to buy these seats. So the original bulbs in there, it's all one thing. Even if you were to pull, rip the bulb out, there's not these little metal clasps down in the stock ones to hold it. So you then have to run a wire through it. So yeah, just buy the right things. These things are cheap, especially if you buy like 50 of them at a time. Um, so that covers LED upgrades. It's just a socket. Honestly, you should do it yourself. You shouldn't send it to somebody to do that. And yeah, I don't know. That's a super easy do-it-yourself one. There's no skill required. So then the other thing to cover again, so both bulbs and these motors are not soldered in. These just sit in these little springs like that. When it's in the body, so not soldered in. So to get this board out to examine it and stuff, there's no soldering required, and there's also no need to be taking these needles off. They're pretty hard to reset. That would be another video showing how to set the needles on these. But yeah, you just take the back off and the board slides right off. No need to take the needles off, unlike the 03 to 04. Hopefully, if y'all are still bearing with me, y'all definitely are the target audience for this video, because I've realized, my initial target audience that I was planning on doing videos for was really do-it-yourselfers, just want to fix their own thing. But I've realized that there's actually a lot of people that are trying to do, a hobby business of, repairing these boards and stuff. So I'm trying to do some videos directed towards you. So this one, I'm going to do a whole video on this other subject here, but I just wanted to glance over it too. The EEPROM is on this little board, so if you want to program it with a Mini Pro, you have to desolder it and take that whole board off to get to it. But you can also, with my this guy, you can't use a clip. You have to run wires to the jumpers, but you can just solder wires onto these little points here and program it that way, and you don't have to deal with with taking the whole board off. The most common repair you have to do on this is this screen right here. You have two places that you have solder issues with. The first one, you can see there's these 3 resistors here. They'll get cracked solder joints along them at the bottom. And the other spot is you'll generally get the ground, which is this one, if I remember right. Will have a cracked solder joint, but yeah, just desolder these pins here, and then you can pop this guy off and just resolder the bottom. Don't bend it up. If you bend it up, like a lot of people do, here I'll show you. This board's a practice board. It never go. So yeah, so a lot of people will just bend it and just kind of pull up on it and try to resolder here. But if you do that, you really can't get down to these springs here, and you won't be able to fix that if that's a problem. Or if it wasn't a problem, you're going to make it a problem by jerking on it like that. So don't jerk off your screen there, right? You shouldn't be jerking anybody's stuff off. Okay, back to the instrument cluster. So I'm not going to take the needles off and show you, but another difference you'll have with this one versus the 03 to 04 is this is actually taped on. So if somebody wanted to put like, the white one or something like that, you got to take all these needles off and rip this thing off. It's glued to it with adhesive. It's not too bad to get it off. Getting the new one lined up right, I haven't found a really good way of doing that. I'm sure you could make some sort of jig that just kind of sits there and lines everything up so you can slide it down nice and easy. But it is it is kind of a pain to replace one of these face plates if you haven't ever done it. It's not hard. It's just something to consider if you haven't done one ever. It's stuck on there with adhesive. So I hope you guys like this video. I know it's just me kind of rambling about some random different things about this one. I just want to cover some of the basics because I get a lot of questions about the 99 to 02 ones. I guess a lot of people don't work on them, so there's not a ton of information, I guess. So yeah, I just want to cover those basics real quick. I hope you guys stuck around and enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.